Bryan, I want to turn a little bit to Israeli politics. I know that you probably have strong feelings about some of these issues. The Israeli author, Amos Oz, said prior to the election, the recent Israeli election, he said that Bibi Netanyahu is the most anti-Zionist prime minister in the history of the state of Israel because his unwillingness or his continued drive to expand settlements in the West Bank will destroy the state of Israel from within by destroying the Jewish majority and turning it into a permanent apartheid state. Do you disagree with that characterization of Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, I'm not an expert on Bibi Netanyahu.
What do you think? But what do you think about the future of Israel? Do you think that Israel should give away land? Do you think that they should give away land for peace?
What I do know is that Bibi Netanyahu supports a two-state solution. It's the Arab nations, it's the Muslim nations that refuse to
embrace support a two-state solution?
Of a two-state solution.
Do you agree with Bibi? I don't look personally. Many analysts do not believe that Bibi Netanyahu may give the two-state solution lip service, but he's done anything and everything in practical matters to make the one-state problem irreversible. My question for you is: do you support the two-state solution? Do you think that the state of Israel should be allowed to give back land to Palestinians? Do you think the Palestinians have a right to independent sovereignty in the West Bank and Gaza?
No, not in the West Bank and Gaza, because they lost that turf in war. That's one of the ways in which land changes hands. They attacked the Israelis, an unprovoked attack. They lost that war. When you lose a war, you lose control of the land.
Well, Bryan, I would just ask you then if Israel did then win that land justly, I say this as a proud Zionist who's been to Israel many times and have family there, and I'm concerned about the long-term future there. Then if you do take that land, you got to give the people in that land citizenship, right? Because otherwise they're in limbo status and they don't have full voting rights or citizenship in any country.
Well, no, granting Palestinians a right of return in Israel, which is what they want, would destroy.
No, I'm talking about citizenship somewhere. Citizenship, either in a Palestinian state, citizenship.
Nations offered the Palestinians a two-state solution. In 1948, they rejected it. They've rejected it ever since.
But you don't want to give it to them anyway. You don't want to give it to them anyway.
Bryan,
Bryan, the question that Daniel Mearns was asking was about citizenship.
Do you think that they should either have citizenship in a future Palestine or in the state of Israel? Because you can't keep them in limbo and continue to rule over them and continue to call yourself a democracy.
Well, already there are 1 million Arabs who are Israeli citizens. 1 million. You can't find a single Jew.
I'm talking about Palestinian non-citizens. Fine, that's fine, and I support the rights of Palestinian citizens of Israel. I'm talking about Palestinians in occupied West Bank and Gaza. What are you going to do, or do you not care about their democratic rights?
No, the Israelis, that is their sovereign territory. They control that land. It's up to them to decide.
Which is why they should give them citizenship.